Good evening, I'm Camden Cohn, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the experienced advisors at Stonebridge Wealth Systems. Earlier today, Husker football receiver Dane Key was named to the 2025 Senior Bowl Top 300 list. The list includes only those draft-eligible players. He was chosen by the Senior Bowl scouting department from a list of over 2,000 eligible prospects. In other Husker news, the Big Ten released their preseason cross-country runners to watch for this season. Allie Bainbridge and Rico Lejanar were the two Nebraska members on the list. The Huskers will open their season at the Platte River Rumble in Ashland, Nebraska on September 5th. And finally, Husker track and field coach Justin St. Clair announced a new member of his staff today. Eric Whitsitt joins the staff as an assistant throws coach after spending the last 3 seasons at Tennessee. He spent the previous 10 seasons with Oregon. In Whitsitt's 3 seasons at Tennessee, he led the throwers to 6 All-American honors. Our sports ticker is brought to you by Stonebridge Wealth Systems, navigating you to and through the retirement of your dreams. Local advisors, a disciplined process, the retirement compass. Visit stonebridgeiwm.com. Hour 1 of Sports Nightly is up next, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Tight formation, turn, toss it off to a little end around by Barney. Use it to 10-5, touchdown Nebraska. Jatori Barney slips in there, taking the pitch on the end around from 10 yards out. Nebraska stretches the lead to 20-3.
Pickens with a 1-2. Bland rolls the ground ball to third. Gibson charges, backhand stop, throw the first, the throw, wild, runner safe at first, Squire scores, now Lauren Camden's in around third, she dives in safely, the throw wide of the plate, Bland around third, she's gonna score, everybody scores, a Little League 3-run home run for Sammy Bland, 3-1 Nebraska.
Between the circles now to Wooster and to Morgan. Back to the basket. Comes left. Dribble handoff to Asijan. Took a bump. Drives it. Puts it up. Got it! Holy smokes, what a great goal by Connor Asijan. He's not just a three-point shooter, my friends. 70-67.
Now, here are your hosts, Jessica Coody and Kyle Crooks on the Huskers Radio Network.
Welcome in. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Kyle's going to get off the show, and he doesn't even have to go eat dinner because you are full on all the new food that's going to be inside the stadium.
Well, I still might eat more, but yes, very good. They had the Airmark tasting today up in the club level here inside Memorial Stadium. We'll have a nice little video that we'll run here, but
actually, we're not going to run it here tonight. We'll have it on social, but
okay.
You did some ratings of the foods.
It was, yeah, I gave my 1 through 10 ratings so everybody can know what to expect when they come to Memorial Stadium. As we know, I am a man that knows a lot about a lot, right? And so food is right up there with everything.
I don't know about your palate, though. You do have a phobia of ketchup.
I hate it. Despise it. Hate it. The fact that you're wearing red right now, just like that, because it's so close to our ketchup conversation that we had, where it's like, so I am, for those that didn't listen last night, I am not a big condiment person. So ketchup, yellow mustard,
mayonnaise,
relish. Now, I could do mayonnaise in certain levels.
Okay.
If it's, BLT, you got to have a little bit of mayo, but people who slop mayonnaise on there, I can't do it. Can't do it. Won't do it.
But they had a bunch of the different new options that you'll be able to get inside the stadium. The media all came out, got to try a bunch of it, all the new food that'll be in the suites and the club level, all of that. So lots of good stuff. People also are aware, if you listen to the show regularly, I'm not a big red meat eater. But I was a big fan of the hot Cheeto corn. They had hot Cheetos that they put on corn.
So I didn't try that one, but yes, there's some really good. So the hot dog, what I loved was the loaded mac and cheese. Brisket, had brisket in there, barbecue sauce, amazing.
So there's a foot-long Fairberry hot dog, and it is a half-pound hot dog. So 3 of the legendary red hot dogs combined into one. Fairberry made it specially for this, and it requires handles to carry. And so that was one of the things that they debuted. They got a Herbie burger all that. So, and they also kind of did some demonstrations on how the alcohol lines are going to work. So we'll have some more information leading up to the first home game, but we did get a sampling of all that today.
I did see Herbie for the first time.
Herbie was there.
I've seen Lil Red. I told you we dapped each other up. We met at volleyball, me and Lil Red for the first time. And I saw Herbie today. He was doing his little demonstration. Then he was up in the tasting area. So I didn't get to say hello, but I saw him physically for the first time. So it was cool.
We kind of laughed. Cassidy was up there with me, and they were announcing all the different food items. And boy, he gave a big round of applause for the Herbie burger. There's kind of some controversial topics on Team Big Red or Team Lil Red or Herbie. And my mom is a diehard Lil Red. She actually has a photo of him in her laundry room.
He's a little scary. He can be scary at times. But I'll tell you this. I love Herbie. I love the look.
You want some Herbie gear.
I've been telling you for a bit now, I want some Herbie gear. T-shirts, sweatshirts, whatever it is. I love that look.
I was told that he's all the rage. The Herbie gear is like the in fashion
Everybody
thing
loves retro now.
right now. So
Everybody wants to go back.
Oh, look at Camden's representing today.
Camden's got, he's got Herbie on right now. So he's got
Henry's
got the
got
swag.
Herbie on his water jug. Like, it's everywhere. Like, so.
I love it. There's a like a neon sign that's out there in the lobby area where all the students are going to work. It's a giant neon sign of Herbie.
Yeah.
Love it.
So.
Need it.
Well, so that was kind of the, took up our bit of our afternoon. We had some more football availability today. Tomorrow is 1 week away.
We'll have Coach tomorrow, too.
Yep. So we'll have Coach roll on for his first live football show, the first live football show here on Sports Nightly. So we also had some news today, big news today, and something that people have been asking a lot about. Team captains for Husker Volleyball. Trio, actually. There's been just two, especially the last couple of years, had the same two with Merritt Beeson and Lexi Rodriguez. But Rebecca Alec, not surprised about that. Bergen Riley, of course, she was the team captain back in the spring. And then Andy Jackson. And we're going to hear more from Lindsay Peterson in hour number 2. She kind of breaks down the different leadership styles, but they're all different and balance each other out. But pretty good trio. And we heard Danny Busman Kelly last night on her show when I was asking her about it. There's a lot of good leaders, and she said now the key is you got to have some followers too. You know, there are some great leaders, but a great team is made up of both leaders and followers. So we'll see how that unfolds, but a good trio that they announced today.
Yeah, really good group. And I've said this before, when I've heard Rebecca Alec talk, it just screams team captain to me. She won that lifting award that was presented to her, the red-white scrimmage, just everything about her screams captain and leader, and then you can't go wrong with Bergen Riley and Andy Jackson. And sometimes when you think captain, you think, best players on the team. Like, captain means more than that. You have to be a leader. Sometimes there's captains on teams that don't even really play a whole lot. It's not the case here, but captain means a lot. And it means, especially for a team like this that has so much talent, and it does have the ability, if certain players don't play, where things can go a little bit awry and egos can come into play with high-level athletes. You need a good player core. Coaches can only do so much to police a locker room. You need player leadership. We're seeing that now with football in the third year. But Nebraska, with a program that is settled into one of the best in the country, that has great player leadership, it means even more in this program to be a team captain, I would assume, than anywhere else in the country.
I thought found it fascinating, too. Lindsay dives into this, but you think, okay, they're opening up at Pinnacle Bank Arena. That's a home court advantage. It is in terms of the fans are going to be there and get behind the team, but it's not like they're getting a bunch of extra time in Pinnacle Bank Arena to prepare for this. They're getting, basically tomorrow they'll have a media availability and they'll have some time to practice just like the rest of the team. So they're getting the same amount as everybody else to prepare. And it's different, the depth perception, how the ball travels, the huge new big screen that's in PBA. So a lot of different things that they'll have to adjust to quick. And that will be a lot of this opening weekend is how you adjust on the fly when you don't know the team across from you as well, and also the environment being a little bit more unknown than what a typical home opener would be inside Devaney, where you practice every day.
That's not any small thing either. You're used to your locker rooms. You're used to having your facilities around at Devaney and John Cook Arena, and now you're going to this site where Nebraska volleyball hasn't played. And like you said, there's the depth perception, I almost equate it to when you're in NCAA basketball and you're in that Final Four and all of a sudden you're playing in a football stadium, right? Like it's maybe not that drastic, but there is something to it. It's a much bigger building where you're playing now in front of 15,000, and I would think that there's going to be 95% of that this weekend, especially these two matches are huge in terms of the opponents and what you have on the other side in Pitt and Stanford and the national spotlight, the matches this week. So Nebraska will play on Fox for the first match and then the actual ESPN for the second match. So you're getting a lot of great television exposure. But the Haymarket area, I'll probably walk over and swing by and watch a couple sets over there just to see what 15,000 looks like for a volleyball match, because they'll do it.
Yeah, and Haymarket's going to be hopping, not just inside Pinnacle Bank Arena, but before the game, the what's it called? I just lost it. Where the big screen is?
Barrett?
The rail yard. Rail yard.
I was going to say Barry's
How did I forget that? My mind just went blank. The rail yard will be hopping. All the different restaurants, there'll be people walking around. So it's going to be fun down there. You'll get your first kind of taste of a game day down there.
That's what I'm excited about, because also when I see that, it brings me to that we're also closer to that first football game day here, because it'll be so packed around that specific area of Lincoln that it just reminds me that we're getting closer to the thick of fall sports.
Sports Nightly is brought to you by Choices Treatment Center. If you or someone you know is struggling with problem gambling, free treatment is available in Nebraska. Call Choices 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300 for more information. Offices in Lincoln and Columbus. Speaking of Choices, hey, our picks are back tomorrow night.
Picks. The big dog, he's running his mouth right now. He's confident. He's confident.
He always is, and then he always ends up doing bad.
And Camden,
I have not lost to the big dog once in 5 years. So
he talks a big game, but Camden is the one that will enter as the champion.
Actually, it's the overall interns. Look, Henry and David both were like, Although Henry, you kind of had some bad weeks.
Wow. So it's the entire intern group that is champion.
They all tag teamed. It was a rotation between Duke was involved, so they all hopped in on the action. So it was a group effort. What?
Yeah, he says it makes it harder. There's no consistency. I don't think that at all. I think you had more help. So look. Yeah.
So. But Gamma's going to be involved again, so
it's competitive. It's
heated. We'll dive into that tomorrow night. We'll have our first Choices Treatment picks segment of the season, so it should be fun. Let's go ahead and get to a break because we got lots to get to here tonight. I mentioned Lindsay Peterson going to be coming up in hour number 2. Tyler Kai, who is the deputy AD for revenue generation. He has some updates, some big news items to pass along here tonight. We also have some football press conferences, and we're going to continue our Cincinnati previews, position previews with O-line and D-line with Kyle here coming up. So lots to get to. Let's go ahead and work in our first break. So we have more to come here on Sports Nightly. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics.
Set, hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money, because you're in charge. And right now, you're going to pay for groceries. But you decide what groceries. Just keep in mind you're running out of dishwashing soap. But you decide if you're going to buy that soap. Just those dishes won't clean themselves, will they? Remember, with Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts. It's the summer sales event with the Ford Groom.
Sam, 30 seconds on the clock. The Ford Summer Sales Event.
Great time to buy.
Correct. What do we have amazing deals on this summer?
Ford trucks and SUVs.
Is Ford America's all-time best-selling auto brand?
Let me think. Yeah, it is.
3 for 3.
What do I win?
You get to work at the Ford Summer Sales Event.
Amazing. I think I was going to do that anyway.
You betcha.
Based on Automotive News Almanac historical data and industry-reported sales data from 1909 through 2024 CY.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
No matter what you're looking for, you'll find it at Woodhouse. We carry a wide selection of trusted brands across more than 20 locations, offering everything from efficient daily drivers to bold new EVs and family-ready SUVs. At Woodhouse, we put your experience first, offering expert guidance and a trusted team that's guaranteed to help you find the right vehicle. Visit a location near you or start shopping online at woodhouse.com. More ways to drive, more reasons to trust. This is Woodhouse.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, 2-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
See Shelter Agent Natalie Kerr in Lincoln, Michael Reeves in Omaha, or Julie Null in Plattsmouth.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your foundation and damaging your home. Cracks in walls and uneven floors are just a few signs your foundation is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns: a free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health, and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Welcome back to Sports Nightly with Kyle Crooks. I'm Jessica Coody. Had another availability today. Are we winding down? Have we heard from every assistant?
Oh, boy. I think we have.
Heard from all of them now?
I'm looking through it right now. They haven't had Corey Campbell go to the. I don't think he's supposed to go to the podium, but in terms of position coaches, I think we've just about hit everybody on the list today. I think it was the last group.
So the cleanup hitters today were EJ Barthel and Marcus Satterfield, talking some running backs and tight ends, and the final position coaches going up to the media. Now, the thing about the coaches shows is that we will have a lot of those assistants rotate in here on the live football shows here on Sports Nightly. We're going to get a chance to chat with them. We're adding a new segment to the pregame show this year as well, where we're going to chat with the assistant coaches in pregame. Not the first game, because they got some special stuff planned for that. We'll have more information on that. But this, in terms of big availability, this is it for the assistants. They usually won't be meet with the media again until the spring. So let's start with, you want to start running backs?
Let's do it.
Okay. EJ Barthel met with the media today and broke down the guys in his room. And let's start with the number one guy that we've heard a lot about stepping into that role. How about what Coach Barthel had to say about Emmett Johnson?
Everything we do here is all about development, right, from a recruiting standpoint. And Emmett's really your first person, in my room, going through the 3-year car wash, 4-year car wash. He's going into his 3rd year with us, and he's developed every aspect of his game. Started with just seeing reads. It started with pass protection. Now it's, as he's accomplished all the things of the running back position, now he's really at the last stage and really focused on his body. Really focused last offseason, really started to really put the hammer on him as far as getting his weight right. And now he's carrying 205, 203 consistently. And he can tell the difference. We can tell the difference. He's running behind his pads. He's getting physical when he needs to get physical. Everybody knows he can move laterally, but now he's starting to understand the difference between 205 and 193 and what that looks like. And so we're pretty pleased with that.
Yeah, as a bell cow back, which is what I would assume they want Emmett Johnson to be, right? He's got to have a little bit of extra muscle and weight behind him. And I think everybody, when you watched, you saw some of the pictures that he posted or some of the videos from the offseason, and you could see the work that Corey Campbell has done in strength and conditioning. He's put on legit size. So he's, as you know, Coach Barthel had said, he's about 203, 205 right now. And for him, you know, if he's going to get the highest number of carries, so he's had over 200 in his career, had 117 last year, really became the starter over the last 4 games. But you're going to take a beating in between the tackles, and some of the weight and muscle that he's put on is going to help him in that.
It's very scientific and strategic. It's not just, hey, let's put on this weight very quickly or just get in the weight room and put on. I mean, he was with Corey Campbell, Kristen Coggan, just the entire staff, very strategic about putting on the weight and maintaining the speed and even gaining speed, which is not just, there's a whole kind of scientific effort that goes into that.
Yeah, it's high intensity training. So you're not eating just to eat. You know, it's like you're eating top of the line food, but also the way that you're working out. It's very hard to have a workout regimen where you're burning fat and you're able to put on muscle at the same time. It's a really good balance in terms of the science of it, where these guys are getting leaner and their weights are going up a little bit more, but they're getting shiftier. You're not losing any of that aspect in what they can do when you're putting on weight.
Well, one of the big storylines has been the move from by Isaiah Mosey from wide receiver into that running back room, providing some more depth there. For the offensive coordinator talk about it, the head coach talk about it. How about his position coach, E.J. Barthel, on Isaiah Mosey?
Literally, the kid in space is pretty special. He has just natural instincts in space. So that's kind of our plan with him, and just gradually get him right as far as the transition from wide receiver to running back. It's going to take some time. He's doing an excellent job. But he has natural God-given abilities, probably from his father, who's on our staff, obviously. But he's got some instincts where he has a feel for the game. He knows how to make people miss in a small space. He knows how to make people miss in open field. So any athlete like that, we obviously want to put the ball in their hands and try to exploit the defense for sure.
He's somebody who's made a massive jump, and we weren't talking about as much as we thought we would, maybe going into fall camp. So, you know, that position switch for him, and you wonder how he's going to fit into Dana's offense. So I look at somebody like Emmett, right? All of last year, he had 39 catches. That was the most for a Husker running back since 2007. I would assume that's how they're going to use Isaiah Mosey in the short passing game. He has the wide receiving skill set, and then you couple that with the shiftiness that he has in the open field. You watch him run, much like Mekhi Nelson, who we'll talk about. He's such burst and ability to just make people miss in open space. He's going to be a massive weapon for this team, given his skill set and everything he can do.
Coach's kid, too, has the IQ, so maybe some of the things that he's taken on, most true freshmen might not be able to pick up as quickly, but he knows the game so well and is so versatile that they've been able to utilize him and find a spot. And, hey, he's a playmaker. And Dana Holgorsen loves to pass to those running backs when he can.
And he's somebody who's going to be going back home for that first game. Kansas City, Missouri native. There's a few Huskers that are going to be playing around their hometown. They're going to have an exceptional emotional tie to this game. And you think of it for Isaiah, he's going to have his dad on the staff, a place, an area he used to coach, and a place he used to grow up, and now you're playing in the stadium that you watched a lot of games and growing up. Pretty cool.
Okay, so Quentin Ives is the guy coming into it. We all had penciled in as the number 2. Unfortunately, he was hurt the first day of practice, and was in that yellow jersey trying to get back, and so he's finally back. But Coach Barthel was asked about Quentin Ives and his progress.
Yeah, he was crushed when he hurt his hamstring, because I know this was a big year for him. You know, the year before that, we brought another back in last year and kind of jumped over ahead of him. Just from a physical development, he just was a little bigger, stronger, and so this is really his year. He was really excited about camp, and then to have the hamstring was tough for him, mentally. But the one thing he did, he kept it. He's very mature about the injury. So in meetings, he's been sharp. He's been sharp the whole time. That's the biggest thing. Like, when you're not taking reps, it's easy to get your mind off of where it needs to be as far as the process, going back to the cycle of the snap. And he's been pretty locked in, and so like he's back now in practice. He had his best day since he's been back yesterday. So he looks sharp. I'm really proud of how mature he's handled this injury, because we're expecting him at some point to have a big year for us.
It's big. Can you control the controllables? For him, you pull up lame on that hamstring. I think quite literally the first drill of the first practice of fall camp, he was, in many people's eyes, penned in as that number 2 running back behind Emmett Johnson. This was his year that he was going to break out at a touchdown in the bowl game. He was going to break out, have a big season. Then all of a sudden, it's a message to everybody in football and on this roster. Everything can kind of be taken away in a moment's notice. And for him now, he finds himself as the number 2 running back to then now dropping down to the 4th or 5th on the depth chart. And Coach Rule had said it in his press conference on Saturday that Quentin has some work to do to get back in, back up that depth chart and somebody who's going to see a lot of reps. But he's back now. He's working a little bit more in team drills. And I would assume if he stays healthy, he could factor into this mix of what is a young room, but a really talented running back room.
Those hammies can just linger.
It's the worst. They stay forever. They never go. It's like calf
tweak
injuries.
them, you feel good, and then you come back, you tweak them like that. Quentin's also a guy that they pointed to in multiple games, the spark that he provided in kickoff return too. So I imagine once he gets fully back healthy, he'll factor in that as well. I know that they've been able to build some depth, both with punt return, guys back there for that, and kickoff return, but he's proven that he's a guy that can make some stuff happen. So I think once he does get fully back, he will be that guy. Because you and I have talked about this at practice before with Emmett and how much they expect him to carry a load. He was one of those guys back there with Ramir Johnson, might not want to risk that with Emmett, right?
Yeah, and Quentin's a different size body than some of the other guys. More of a bruiser type back who I think you were going to rely on Quentin to be a big part of pass protection in third down situations and have him on the field and critical downs and distances. So, boy, it's really tough. It's a game that can humble you now, but I think Quentin has gotten healthy early enough here where there's still plenty of time to get back in the rotation eventually as this season goes along.
Would you say Mekhi Nelson is the breakout star of fall camp?
I would say so.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say he sort of came out of nowhere to now be, in a lot of people's eyes, the number 2 running back.
He's been the talk of, I feel like, all the media folks, the people watching. I know Dana Holgerson's been very given a lot of praise to him too. So I cannot wait to see him in game action. I know he's had flashes. And so how about what did his position coach have to say about him? Here's E.J. Barthel on Mekhi Nelson.
Since Mekhi's gotten here, everybody's noticed and everyone knows about his explosiveness and his ability to find the end zone. I mean, that's pretty evident. So the biggest strides he has made has been off the field. He's really grown up as far as a note taker, as far as his attentiveness in the classroom. He's really understanding the seriousness of a mistake, if that makes sense. So like a young player may make a mistake and naturally just brush it off, but at this level, you only get 3 or 4 reps at a team practice, right? So we can't afford that. And so him focusing on the things he needs to correct and then applying in the next practice is the biggest jump that he's made off the field. Like Mose, he's going to take some. He's a young guy, but I think we're all pleased with what he's done this camp. He's really done a great job all around, and he's been pretty impressive. Now he's just got to do it on the game. That's the reality. He's got to do it in the game.
Yeah, last year for him, he was mostly a scout team guy. Didn't see a whole lot of reps. And now it's all what you do with your opportunity. I said a couple weeks ago, I got a chance to meet his dad, and you see his upbringing, and He's somebody from Wilkesboro, Pennsylvania, which is the home of the Scranton Rail Riders, the AAA team of the New York Yankees. But I used to call a lot of high school football in that area, especially in the Scranton area. It's a really good level of high school football. But I would assume Dana's probably somebody it's not easy to get to stand at a podium and say glowing things about. And I remember the one quote that Holgerson had on Mekhi Nelson a couple weeks ago. He said, I'm going to say all these good things about Mekhi, but if he lets it get to his head, I'm going to kick him in his backside, something along those lines. And he's made, it's clear, Coach Rule even said it, he's made a massive jump from spring to now. He saw what the possibilities could be, and boy, he's taken, you expect him to be a big part when they kick this thing off on August 28th.
And I think another part of that, too, is he always had, as you heard Coach Barthel just talking about, that explosiveness, the speed has always been there, but you got to do more than just make things happen with the ball in your hand. If you want to play in Coach Holgerson's offense, you've got to, as we've talked about, protect the franchise. You got to do other things and do that well. And I think that's just been part of the growing part of Mekhi's game that he's had to do and figure out how to do it against the guys on the other side, the black shirts, and just doing it at a high level and just understanding that part of the game as well.
I think what's important, too, is you have a role model in front of you. I think when you're number one at any position group is someone who's willing to teach, to work by example, to create the good example for some of the younger guys. You've said it, the running back room gets young really quick. So they need somebody who's there to, you have EJ as your position group coach, but also Emmett Johnson, who I feel like is the perfect role model for how these guys go about getting better. And when you get your opportunities like Emmett did late last year, put your foot on the gas pedal and become the guy.
Yeah, and I think Emmett knows better than anybody. He can't have every carry. He can't take every snap. He's got to have some help. So he wants to bring those guys along because this is a group that from top to bottom, they want to win. And they make no bones about talking about their goals and what they're going into. And Emmett's at the top of that list. All right, let's go ahead and get to a break. On the other side of this, we'll talk some tight ends with Marcus Satterfield. He met with the media as well, so we'll bring you some of the highlights from his press conference. Keep it here on Sports Nightly.
It's the summer sales event with the Ford Groom.
Sam, 30 seconds on the clock. The Ford Summer Sales Event.
Great time to buy.
Correct. What do we have amazing deals on this summer?
Ford trucks and SUVs.
Is Ford America's all-time best-selling auto brand?
Let me think. Yeah, it is.
3 for 3.
What do I win?
You get to work at the Ford Summer Sales Event.
Amazing. I think I was going to do that anyway.
You betcha.
Based on Automotive News Almanac historical data and industry-reported sales data from 1909 through 2024 CY.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your basement and damaging your home. Mold, cracks, and of course visible water are just a few signs your basement is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home.
And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
It's the summer sales event with the Ford Groom.
Sam, 30 seconds on the clock. The Ford Summer Sales Event.
Great time to buy.
Correct. What do we have amazing deals on this summer?
Ford trucks and SUVs.
Is Ford America's all-time best-selling auto brand?
Let me think. Yeah, it is.
3 for 3.
What do I win?
You get to work at the Ford Summer Sales Event.
Amazing. I think I was going to do that anyway.
You betcha.
Based on Automotive News Almanac historical data and industry-reported sales data from 1909 through 2024 CY.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
At Woodhouse, we're with you every step of the way. With more than 20 locations and brands, you'll find options that fit your lifestyle. Whether you're looking for your first car, your next SUV, or something built to tow and haul, enjoy straightforward pricing, helpful guidance, and a dealer experience built around you. Visit one of our convenient locations today or explore your options online at woodhouse.com. Serving our customers for 50 years, this is Woodhouse.
A winning insurance strategy doesn't rely on one person. It takes a team that knows its roles well, working together to provide an exceptional experience. J.D. Power ranked the team at Shelter Insurance #1 in customer satisfaction among auto insurers in the Central Region 6 out of the last 7 years. For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
See Shelter Agent Derek Hostert in Lincoln, Shelley Wheeler in Grand Island, or Jeff Florham in North Platte today.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect that water is the reason parts of your concrete have gotten so uneven. Walkway tripping hazards, sinking pool deck, cracked driveways are dangerous threats to everyone's safety. But there's one way to learn how your concrete can be lifted. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Like Husker Athletics, your retirement deserves a game plan with a solid foundation. Stonebridge Wealth Systems. Local advisors, a disciplined process. The Retirement Compass. Visit StonebridgeIWM.com. Welcome back to Sports Nightly with Kyle Crooks. I'm Jessica Coody. All right, we continue hearing from the media availability today with Husker assistant coaches. Marcus Satterfield up next for us here tonight, talking some tight ends. And let's start with Carter Nelson, Heinrich Harburg, the new guys to the tight end room here this fall camp. He was asked about those guys and how they have done at that tight end spot.
Carter, coming off his surgery he had in January, is moving around really, really well right now. Just, every day. He's still, we talk about all day, he's still been in less than 200 or 50 double teams in his lifetime. So just getting used to play in the box in that area, all the receiver stuff, route running things, that comes with ease for him. He's really, athletic and has some great traits and can be a mismatch out there. Where he is there is good. We just have to get the physical component for his game to catch up, to everybody else. Heinrich, from spring to now, is a total different tight end. I'm really proud of the steps that he's taken from the spring to the summer camp, from week 1 to week 2, from week 2 to week 3. He's working at it. He's getting more comfortable playing the physical nature of the position, and look forward to seeing what he does this season moving forward, because he's just going to keep getting better and better. He's got a lot of upside.
I think you have two guys in the tight end room that there's no question in terms of their athletic ability and their ability to run routes and make plays on the ball. I think those two guys, and Coach Satterfield had echoed that about some of the concerns, is the physicality, being an inline tight end, somebody who's going to be able to block a big defensive end or an edge rusher in an obvious run situation. So that's where some of the concerns from that come from. And we mentioned, you need role models in this, and I think Luke Lindemeyer, and we'll talk about him in a little bit, but he's sort of the glue to this entire room, right? Teaching those guys how to be an inline tight end. I think those are the only concerns that you have about those two guys, because they can be prolific in moving this offense forward that only averaged 23.5 points per game. I think we'll see a massive jump in that number because of the athletes now and the multiple athletes that they have in the tight end room.
Kind of funny, Luke Lindemeyer started out as basically that guy. He was the blocking tight end, you know, and then I think he's always capable, but the more and more that he earned his opportunities and making the most of it, so now he's a guy that can do a little bit of everything, kind of a little bit opposite. He started out as a blocker and became the everything tight end, and these other guys have started off as the great pass catchers trying to be the everything tight end as well. So how about Luke Lindemeyer and his leadership in that room?
I think his confidence has grown. There were older guys in the room last year. He's played the most football at this position, and I think a lot of our guys lean on him with questions. And I think he's confident. He knows that he can do it. And I think the more confident he gets, the more leadership opportunities he's going to have. But he's doing a really nice job right now leading the room.
And Luke had titled Nebraska as a tight end U a couple of weeks ago, so he had made a pretty bold statement. But he's an interesting story in itself. He grew up in a military family, and he had the option to play under scholarship. I believe it was at Army, to be under full scholarship and to play football. But instead, he wanted to stay in the state. He's from La Vista, just about 45 minutes away from Lincoln, and he decided to walk on here at Nebraska because he knew this is where he wanted to be. He wanted to be a part of this tradition, wear that logo. So instead of getting a full scholarship somewhere else, he's truly somebody who wanted to be a Husker.
And, he has dove into, it's really important to him to give back. And he is out and about volunteering, and a lot of it is documented. Even more of it is not. I went with a group in the tornado cleanup, and he was out there with that group. And, he does a lot to give back. He's very, very appreciative of the opportunities and wants to make the most of it. I also he brought back the Mohawks were a pretty big deal for the tight end room for a while. He brought it back this year.
A Mohawk, huh?
Yeah. Doesn't he have he has a Mohawk.
He does. But it's fashionable now. It's not like the old school Mohawk that you would see.
Yeah, not like the 80s, but that was kind of a big deal for that tight end room
for
several years, and he was part of that when he was a young guy, so now he's, I guess, maybe paying homage to those guys.
What's funny is when I interviewed him, it was one of the first interviews I did when I got here, and I asked him about, okay, are you aiming to be more of a pass catcher this year? And to what you said, he sort of was taken aback because he's like, I've always been that.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't my role. They didn't want me. They didn't need me to do that. So he played a certain role up until this point. But don't get it twisted. Luke can do a lot of things at that position, including being a pass catcher.
I think they've just had maybe other guys that was what they did best. When you needed somebody to go make a catch, they had other guys, but he was the one that when you needed somebody to, either protect the quarterback, make room for the running backs, he would do that. And so, but he has proven that he can do anything you ask of him. And I think we're going to see a lot of Luke Lindenmeyer this year.
Yeah, I would assume he's probably going to start. And, last year you had somebody in front of you that's playing on Sundays, Thomas Fidone, and is now playing with the Giants. So you had somebody who was an NFL talent in front of you. But I would assume first play, he's going to be the tight end that's going to line up with the ones.
All right, last clip for you here from Coach Satterfield is he was asked about Dylan's overall growth as a quarterback and just how that will impact the overall production for the tight end room.
It's just the ability to check the ball down at times. A lot of times we may be in the protection and end up being a check down. And sometimes younger quarterbacks are not getting to that. And I think Dylan can get to some of those check downs and get some extra yards, just through – it's not there, check the ball down, and just real simple plays. I think Coach Holgerson, says it all the time, routine plays done routinely, and he allows us to do that.
It's interesting what Marcus Satterfield now, having been the offensive coordinator and looking at it from a different perspective, but he's had the ability to look at this offense holistically and be in charge of the entire room. So I'm sure when he's at a practice, his eyes are going to a lot of different points of an offense just based on, his title from last year. But now he gets to just focus on the tight ends. But of course, he worked closely with Dylan last year calling the plays. And I think the more and more you hear from all the coaches out of fall camp, they're telling you that Dylan is making incredible throws, but he's making the right decisions.
The tight end room loves Coach Satterfield. They're big fans of him. They like being in that room with him. So, all right, let's go ahead and get to a break here. We're going to start. So we're going to have to maybe split it here as we're up against it. But the Cincinnati position previews that we've been doing throughout this week, we're going to move to the trenches, O-line, D-line for the Bearcats. What are the Huskers going to face in that? So we'll talk about that here coming up in this final segment here of hour number one. Keep it here on Sports Nightly.
At Woodhouse Cadillac, we're redefining your drive with premium performance, advanced technology, and world-class comfort. Explore our current offers happening now. Lease the 2025 Cadillac Vistic Luxury for $599 a month for 24 months and 10,000 miles per year. Browse our inventory in-store or shop online today. With approved credit, tax, title, license extra, first payment, and $299 doc fee due at signing. Must currently own a 2010 or newer competitive Conquest brand vehicle. Courtesy transportation vehicle with 1,817 miles. Offer expires 8/31/2025. See dealer for details.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, two-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
See Shelter Agent Josh Ahrens in Kearney, Scott Vermas in La Vista, or Dennis Malloy in Bellevue today.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Jessica Coody with Kyle Crooks. I wanted to spin this last segment here because it kind of became a jam-packed show all of a sudden throughout the day. But we've been doing your position previews as you've been building your charts for the season opening kickoff. And so we've been running through the different positions. And tonight we were scheduled to talk O-line, D-line. We're going to have to split it up here. Last segment here of Hour 1, first segment here of Hour 2. But let's start with the offensive line for Cincinnati. What does that look like? What is I asked you, I guess it was last week, with this Husker defensive line, is what they're facing every day in practice. Is it going to be maybe I won't say easier, but the O-line, the Huskers have the advantage on the O-line front, I guess.
Well, I think if we're looking at it from Nebraska's point of view, everyone thinks Nebraska's offensive line is probably going to be a top 5 within the Big Ten. So if that's the case, yes. Nebraska's offensive line on paper is much better than Cincinnati's offensive line. Cincinnati, they lost 3 starters. A really good offensive line last year, where they lost 3 starters to NFL camps. So they had to come in and replace a giant chunk of their starting experience on their offensive line. One of the captains of their team and the anchor of the offensive line is at that center position. Gavin Gerhardt has made 36 starts, third-time team captain. He's on the Remington watch list, so he is the name to know on the offensive line. And then they have some new additions, primarily at one of the most important spots at left tackle. So Joe Cotton is their new left tackle, comes from South Dakota. Last year made 14 starts, spent 3 years there, 27 starts. But again, that's at the FCS level. Now you're going up against the front 7 of Nebraska. But he was a Phil Steele All-American. So he was one of the big offensive line transfers in the portal, at least from the FCS level. They got a transfer from Albany, Nolan Ladolip, who I'm not sure if he might start, probably might be the first guy to rotate in. And then they have a Kentucky transfer at right tackle. I think that was probably the biggest competition on their offensive line, was at right tackle, where they're going to have a former Kentucky Wildcat, DeAndre Buford, who was teammates with Dane Key. He's made 22 starts. That was the one area where they weren't necessarily sure was there somebody who was going to jump him. And then Scott Satterfield actually, he said at Big 12 Media Days, he went out and said who his starting offensive line was from left to right tackle going into fall camp. And Taron Tayo is their right guard, transfer from Ball State. Last year was an all-conference player, so that's a new addition for them. And then they have a left guard that has never started a game, was a reserve offensive line, and Evan Tangus-DeHall. I have to work on. He's a very big last name. Redshirt sophomore, but is not started, and he's going to be their starting left guard. So some new faces. You have to replace 3 that are on to NFL camps, but the title of what this Cincinnati offense is going to be, Jess, is they want to run the ball. They want to run it often, and they're going to run it successfully because Coach Satterfield, that's pretty much what he does. He runs it really well.
A little interesting there because if you look at, Nebraska's offensive line, even though they've got some new pieces, you've got guys that have played beside each other with Justin Evans and Henry Lutovsky and then Gunnar Gotula last year. But basically the opposite for Cincinnati.
Yeah.
They got a lot of guys that are playing next to each other for the first time.
Yeah, and a lot of reports are that it's taken a little bit to mesh everybody, and there's a little bit of depth there, not anything like what you would see with Nebraska and what the expectations are there. We went into the running backs yesterday. They have a really good running back room, athletic running back room, but can they keep Brendan Sorsby upright? I think this is one of those games that you could have the guys from the jack position for Nebraska have a big day, the Willis McGahees and the Deshaun McCulloughs.
That was my next question for you is maybe who are some guys that you target that could be make the day a nightmare for that Cincinnati offensive line?
I think those two. I think Keona Davis, if he's coming from that defensive end spot. And you don't know the way John Butler sort of runs is going to run his defense, that 3-3-5 look where it's sort of the different looks that you can give are pretty exotic. You can have guys coming from the secondary linebackers. You heard some of the assistants talk this week. You could have defensive line, people from the jack position drop back in coverage. There's a lot of different looks for an offensive line that is, like you said, doesn't have a lot of experience together. There's going to be a lot that's going to be concocted here from Nebraska and the amount of looks that this group is going to have to see.
A lot of the defensive players have said there's not a whole lot of changes. They're doing quite a few things similar, but still on the Cincinnati front, I wonder how they're going about trying to prepare for this Nebraska defense with John Butler as a coordinator.
Yeah, I'm sure they're going to look back at a lot of last year because they'll have some of the same personnel. Again, it's the front seven. A lot of that is going to be different, but you'll still have the same 3-3-5 ideology that Tony White had last year. But you're right. There's a lot of unknown, especially that first game. You don't necessarily know what you're going to see. We do know this, and John Butler has said this. We are going to be aggressive. We are going to press up in man-to-man coverage, and we are going to come after you.
There's still some new faces, too, because you know who's not out there for Nebraska this year?
Who's
Number
that?
0 and 9.
That's right. Ty Nash.
In case you missed that, Kyle.
Ty Nash.
All right, good stuff there. On the other side of this, we'll look at the Cincinnati defensive line. As we heard Searles talking about, pretty tough first test for Justin Evans as he takes over that center position here out of the gate with Cincinnati and that D-line personnel. So we'll dive into that on the other side of this. Plus, we're going to hear from Lindsay Peterson as a portion of this week's episode of The Dig, Tyler Kai. So big second hour coming up for you here on Sports Nightly. Keep here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Shop Woodhouse, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram during the Make This the Summer event going on now. Lease the 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee for just $289 per month. Visit us in Blair or Bellevue today. Woodhouse is your trusted Jeep dealer. 24 months, 10,000 miles per year. With approved credit, tax, title, license extra. For well-qualified returning lease customers, $19.99 down plus first payment and $2.99 doc fee do it signing. Stock number C250228. Offer expires 8/31/25. See dealer for details.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your crawl space and damaging your home. Musty smells, sagging floors, mold are just a few signs your crawl space is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
It's the summer sales event with the Ford Groom.
Sam, 30 seconds on the clock. The Ford Summer Sales Event.
Great time to buy.
Correct. What do we have amazing deals on this summer?
Ford trucks and SUVs.
Is Ford America's all-time best-selling auto brand?
Let me think. Yeah, it is.
3 for 3.
What do I win?
You get to work at the Ford Summer Sales Event.
Amazing. I think I was going to do that anyway.
You betcha.
Based on Automotive News Almanac historical data and industry-reported sales data from 1909 through 2024 CY.
Good evening, I'm Camden Cohn, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the experienced advisors at Stonebridge Wealth Systems. Earlier today, Husker football receiver Dane Key was named to the 2025 Senior Bowl Top 300 list. This list includes only draft-eligible players and was chosen by the Senior Bowl scouting department from a list of over 2,000 draft-eligible prospects. In other Husker news, the Big Ten released their preseason cross-country runners to watch for the season. Ali Bainbridge and Rico Lejanar were the two Nebraska members on the list. The Huskers will open their season at the Platte River Rumble in Ashland, Nebraska on September 5th. And finally, Husker track and field coach Justin St. Clair announced a new member to his staff today. Eric Whitsitt joins the staff as an assistant throws coach after spending the last 3 seasons at Tennessee. Prior to that, he spent the previous 10 seasons with Oregon. In Whitsitt's 3 seasons at Tennessee, he led the throwers to 6 All-American honors. Our sports ticker is brought to you by Stonebridge Wealth Systems, navigating you to and through the retirement of your dreams. Local advisors, a disciplined process, the retirement compass. Visit stonebridgeiwm.com. Hour 2 of Sports Nightly is up next, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
70 shoot high lob, caught by Petrie somehow underneath, in trouble, got to Hank for 3, yay! Gotcha! Huskers made something out of nothing. I don't know how Petrie got it to Kellen Hank, who buried the Central Valley Egg 3.
Dice has the sign. He collects the 3-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. Casey Dice finishes it for Nebraska. The dog pile is on. The Nebraska Cornhuskers have run the table and run it back. Back-to-back Big Ten tournament champions.
Pass made Franklin, the slide, Robinson, block back! Call the grandkids! They did it! Nebraska sweeps Wisconsin for the 3rd time this season. And hello, Louisville! The Big Red back where it belongs. The Final Four, number 18 in school history.
Now, here are your hosts, Jessica Coody and Kyle Crooks on the Huskers Radio Network.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of Sports Nightly. We found out during the break, Henry tried the mac and cheese. You're a fan of the mac and cheese. Henry likes the mac and cheese.
Big mac and cheese guy. Brisket,
with the brisket.
barbecue.
You said that's what you recommended for people to, if they're going to try something, that's what they should get.
Be ready for that video. All my ratings are there, and I'll give you exactly what you need to get, which is all of it.
But it actually really was your favorite.
It was.
And Henry had it cold and liked it, so.
Yeah, I mean, mac and cheese in any form, I can do it.
It's hard to go wrong, hard to mess up.
It's hard, just like pizza, you know?
All right, well, here in this, we have to be pretty quickly here in this first segment because we got a lot to get to here in hour number 2. But did want to continue the O-line, D-line conversations for Cincinnati as we preview the Bearcats, do some position previews here throughout this week as Kyle is getting his charts ready and diving into the prep. And so we talked O-line last time. Let's move over to the defensive line, and they get some guys that could cause some problems for the Huskers.
They do. Now, they do return 6 of their top 8 defensive linemen. The issue is a lot of them didn't play last year, at least 2 big ones from last year. Jalen Hunt did not play. He was out for the entire year. You'll see him. He's a 6-year transfer from Michigan State who's out with a knee injury. And then Micah Coleman, who you'll also see transfer from Eastern Michigan. He was out with an ACL injury. But the big name that you'll need to know will be locked up with Rocco and Henry Lotovsky and then Justin Evans. Dante Corleone, they call him the Godfather. He is preseason All-Big 12, preseason All-American. He's on every watch list that you could imagine. He's 6'1", 335 pounds. He bench presses 485 pounds. He squats 615 pounds.
Wow.
He's legit. Wow. And we talked about Joe Royer, their tight end, legit first-round NFL draft pick. I don't know if Corleone will be a first-rounder, but he'll be a pretty high draft pick in the NFL.
Searles is very high on him, and Searles locks in, if you missed it, he locks into those O-line, D linemen, and he's talked about that test for Justin Evans and moving over to center, and this has been his first game. He's going to have a big test right out of the gate.
I would assume there'd be a lot of double teams, and for him, it's his first healthy off season in a couple of years. Last year he dealt with blood clots, much like what we saw with Javen Wright. So he missed, I think it was the first game of last year, but didn't have 3 months of off-season training last year. But he has had the entire off-season, and he's a fifth year. He decided to come back. He could have put his name into the NFL draft waters, but decided to come back and make a run this year. The defensive line for Cincinnati is legit because it's healthy. Last year, with all the injuries, they were 13th in run defense, so about 162 yards given up. But that's not representative. The numbers you see from last year in terms of what they gave up on the ground, not representative of what this Nebraska offensive line is going to go up against.
What about on the edges, like we just talked about with the Nebraska and how they might be able to have some success? What does that look like for Cincinnati?
Yeah, so they have that star position that'll be a little bit of that hybrid. So Jaquan Sanks, they're pretty deep at that position, probably one of their deepest positions on their two deep. Jaquan Sanks, who's a sophomore, don't necessarily know who will start, but Antoine Peak, who's a redshirt junior, and then they have a fifth-year guy, and Xavier Williams. So they could probably be 3 deep at that star position in terms of that hybrid role of who maybe gets after the quarterback, and we'll get into the linebackers too. But I would say there's some strengths here. I think this is going to be a considerably improved group. They're under a second-year defensive coordinator in Tyson Veit, who put Iowa State in a really good position as an associate head coach. He coached the linebackers there. He's, one of the top assistants in the country in his time in his 8 years there at Iowa State. But he helped build Iowa State into a pretty good defensive group, and I think they took a big jump last year from what they were in year one under Scott Satterfield. They were really bad in 2023. I think 2025 will be the best defense that they've had in Cincy in a couple of years. So one of the tougher matchups going into this probably on paper is that O-line, Nebraska O-line versus that Cincinnati D-line. Yeah, I think that front three, and I didn't even mention guys like Rob Jackson, who's a fifth-year guy, made 9 starts last year, C.J. McCray, who's had Power 4 experience, 4 years at Virginia Tech, Jalen White, McClain, Marquez Parker. They run pretty deep in that defensive line room. I think that's going to be a really important matchup. And do you expect to see, we've talked a lot about how probably going to see quite a bit of rotating bodies with the Husker defensive line. Is it going to be the same for Cincinnati? I would say so, especially given all the health issues they've had in the past. But you won't see Dante Corleone out there for every single snap as a big-bodied nose tackle. Grit, precision, results. That's Husker football and our approach to retirement. Stonebridge Wealth Systems, local client-focused advisors. The Retirement Compass. Visit StoneBridgeIWM.com. We're going to let Kyle get out here a little early because we've got some things to get to. We're going to hear from Lindsay Peterson as part of this week's episode of The Dig. Tyler Kai going to stop by. Got some news regarding Husker volleyball and seeding moving forward. So lots to get to. We're going to step aside for a break, but more of the show coming up right after this.
Does your air conditioner have you in distress? Call SOS, a trustworthy company since 1950. Their technicians don't earn commissions. This equals fair treatment to our customers. SOS is a family-owned third-generation company. And now to celebrate the 75th year in business for a limited time, get a new York AC or furnace for $75 per month. Get you and your loved ones comfortable again with SOS.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
Make the most of August with a new ride from Woodhouse Chevy. Whether it's one last road trip, giving the kids back to school, or upgrading your daily drive, we'll help you find the perfect vehicle for wherever life takes you. From dependable trucks to spacious SUVs, you'll find incredible selections and special financing options available now. Shop online or visit us at one of our 2 locations in Omaha or Missouri Valley. Woodhouse Chevy. Together, let's drive.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your foundation and damaging your home. Cracks in walls and uneven floors are just a few signs your foundation is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
It's the summer sales event with the Ford Groom.
Sam, 30 seconds on the clock. The Ford Summer Sales Event.
Great time to buy.
Correct. What do we have amazing deals on this summer?
Ford trucks and SUVs.
Is Ford America's all-time best-selling auto brand?
Let me think. Yeah, it is.
3 for 3.
What do I win?
You get to work at the Ford Summer Sales Event.
Amazing. I think I was going to do that anyway.
You betcha.
Based on Automotive News Almanac historical data and industry-reported sales data from 1909 through 2024 CY.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe insurance should adjust to fit your needs. That's why we work with you to design an auto, home, and life insurance plan that's particular to you. Insurance that fits just right. And Shelter is known for our award-winning customer service, satisfied customers, and a plan for you. Ready to check us out?
Season he'll
Shelter
be in
Insurance.
during the 6 o'clock
We're
hours,
your shield.
7 o'clock.
We're your shelter.
See Shelter Agent Travis Hawk in Scottsbluff, Jim Mowinkle in Gretna, or Shane Bernhardt in Norfolk.
At Woodhouse Ford, we're here to help you elevate your summer plans with a vehicle built for every destination. From the adventure-ready Bronco Sport to the rugged F-150, the entire Ford lineup is equipped with the latest technology and reliable safety features so you can drive with confidence. With flexible financing options and a seamless buying experience, it's easier than ever to get behind the wheel of your new vehicle from Woodhouse Ford. Shop our current offers online or visit us in-store at one of our 3 locations in Blair, Omaha, and Plattsmouth.
Keep it here on Sports Night. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Welcome back to Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody, and the dig is underway for another season. This week's guest is Director of Operations, Lindsay Peterson. And in fact, when we sat down to record this episode of this podcast, the captains had just been breaking news. They had been voted on, but they had been officially announced to the public. So we dove into the leadership of those 3, the trio of captains that were selected, and a bunch of other things. So here's a portion of my conversation with Lindsay Peterson as a part of this week's episode of The Dig, powered by Emeritus. Well, breaking news as we sat down to record this, that the captains have been announced. It's Bergen, Rebecca, and Andy. I don't think there's a number of players that if they were named a captain, I don't think I would have been surprised. I'm not surprised to see those 3. We've heard so much about Rebecca and Bergen, and great trio. And you've had 2 in the past, well, couple of years, but have a great trio here to lead the team this year.
Yeah, it's a different look because the last 2 years we had the same 2 captains with Merritt and Lexi being around for 2 years, and the way they led the team kind of got in that groove, and now you had to find new leaders to emerge, and we really challenged our team in the spring and summer to let them see who naturally, came across as their leaders and what the team felt they needed as leader, what this team dynamic was going to look like, what was going to be unique about this team, and what they needed from leaders of this team. And so we went through summer, we went through a couple weeks of preseason, and then with a team vote, those 3 emerged at the top. And it shows the work they've put in the time to make an impact on this team. And it also shows the team sees qualities in them that they think will help us achieve our goals. But you're right. We have a lot of players that they have experience. They're just natural leaders. Maybe they lead in different ways. With their performance, some are more nurturing and caring and handling things off the court. So I think we had a big group to choose from. But the 3 that were chosen in Bergen, Rebecca, and Andy are a great combination. I think they balance each other well. They all bring different attributes to the court and off the court. And with a big team, this is a bigger team than we've had in several years, and a lot of new players. I think you need that. You have to have a little bit, can't rely on just one person to try to do it all. And so these three have been presented with a great challenge, and the team believes in them, and the staff does as well. And so we're excited to see how their leadership unfolds here in the next 4 months.
Been told by both Kelly and Danny that Bergen's like the team mom. She's like the mom of the group.
Definitely a team mom. I mean, Bergen is just, you see it in her play. She's very calm demeanor, very collected, composed, and she's a perfectionist off the court, very organized. And so, she keeps things clean. She keeps everyone where they need to be. She makes sure that people know the schedule, the plan moving forward, and, kind of runs the family household for our volleyball team like a mom would. And that's a role she's kind of fallen into that the last couple of years. I think as a setter, having to lead the team on the court offensively, people naturally look to her. And so it was easy for her to just step into that role. But yeah, she's not one that's going to get too rattled, and she sees everyone, as their unique self and meets them where they're at that day.
Rebecca, we've talked a lot about her, obviously, and I had her on in the spring, and she talked a lot about how she had to change how she had her relationships with people because she realized people need different things out of relationships. How have you seen her evolve to become where she is now and being selected a team captain her senior year?
Yeah, Rebecca has grown a tremendous amount the last 4 years. I mean, she came in as a freshman, and she was so guns a-blazing, intense in everything she did. She just wanted to win. It really didn't take a lot. She didn't look at the outside intangibles that came into play when you're a part of a team like this. And I think she has a much better understanding. And like you mentioned, the relationship, she knows that, somebody that's just coming out of high school and is 17, 18 isn't going to need the same type of relationship care dynamic that someone that's 21 and is more set in their ways and is more independent and maybe understands their role on the team. And so she's always been someone that has never really judged. She doesn't place judgment. She gives people grace, and she's an individual in herself. Like, she wants to be unique in who she is, and I think she respects that for everybody. And that's when you have a big group like this, you can't expect everyone to be a cookie cutter, fit the same exact mold. And she's brought that to our team, and she wants people to be them in their individual selves and not just see themselves as volleyball players and let their personality come out.
What about Andy and her leadership style? What have you seen out of her that she was selected a captain?
Well, Andy wants to be very elite, and she wants this program to be very elite. And you see when Andy plays, like, she's an extremely focused, intense player on the court, and she's disciplined in many ways. And I think she carries that over into our team and making sure we're disciplined in the little areas. So, when we get backs against the wall on the court, it's not panic moment. We've worked on that because we're disciplined in all aspects of our life. And so I think she's someone that really tries to set a standard. She came to Nebraska because she liked what Nebraska was about. She wanted to be great on the volleyball court, but she also liked how you develop as a woman in our program, and she wanted to do that for her teammates as well and be the leader in that area. So she isn't afraid to have tough conversations. She knows what it takes. She, says the right things. There's not a lot of sugarcoating it, but she's earned the respect of her teammates with how she comes in and approaches every day in the court, on the court, in the weight room, in the classroom, whatever it is. She's earned that respect to have that voice, and they listen. So I think when Andy speaks, a lot of people automatically, okay, they hear what she says, and it means it's go time. Like, we mean business. And but she also is a very fun and supportive person too. So she handles and balances both those dynamics very well.
It's funny you mentioned it. The trio, they're all different in their own ways, but all feed off of each other, I would imagine, with their strengths as far as leaders go.
Absolutely, and I think that's why having 2-3 captains is definitely a benefit, is because not everybody's going to be strong in the areas the team needs them to be in, or it's not going to be what they feel most comfortable in a way of leading. And so they'll be able to balance each other well. And it also allows the team to, maybe they feel more comfortable going to Rebecca for some issues and Bergen for some, or it doesn't make everyone have to funnel to one person. And I think that's what makes great teams is to have captains that balance each other. Some of our best teams and best captains we've had have been, trios of captains, just because they really allowed their strengths to shine, and they, can make up for the weaknesses or any shortcomings the others might have.
So we saw Rebecca at the red-white scrimmage when she was announced as the lifter of the year and how emotional she got. But I was curious, do you know the originating story behind how you guys started giving that award out?
Goodness, I don't know. I'd have to talk with Brian, but I think it was, I think with Brian and John, one year they talked about the importance of how important the summer is and winning the summer and the gains you make in the summer, especially with our beach program now too. The winter conditioning used to be, before beach, a great opportunity for our team to really make those gains in the weight room and physically and make any changes they needed to make, do it during that time. But now that you're in beach, it limits what can be done in the weight room during those months. So it really comes down to your 8 to 10 weeks in the summer. And so I think a lot of focus is on who comes in and is trying to make a difference. And I also think it's a motivator too. I mean, everyone knows sometimes it's not easy to get up and go do workouts every day. But this is a great way to show your team how invested you are in them and how much you want to, bring the best version of yourself forward.
She has put so much work into it. And I think that's what you saw in her emotion, right? Is just she felt like last year's, what she told me is that maybe didn't put as much emphasis in it. So she really wanted to make sure she left everything, no page left unturned. And so I got to imagine that was really rewarding for her, because not even, oh, I want to win this award, but because some of the fruits of her labor paid off in that vote.
Yeah, I think it definitely, what she committed herself to was recognized by her peers and her teammates. And sometimes that's the greatest reward in itself, is when your teammates also see how much you put in and into it and they acknowledge that. But Rebecca has, she's had big goals her entire career, and she wants to max out. It's her senior year. She doesn't want to walk away with any regrets. And so she's really brought that mindset into every aspect, whether it's, developing relationships with her teammates, how she performs on the court, strength and conditioning, her recovery, and, anything she has to do in the training room. She's really committed herself in all those areas because she doesn't want to walk away with regrets and wants this year to be her best year. And I think that's a great example in itself. And to have a leader like that for the younger players to see, like, you only get 4 years. They go really fast. And so you don't want to walk away saying, I wish I would have. And so for her to show that example every day is great for our team to see.
Well, I got to ask you, as an alum yourself, how special was Saturday, the alumni night, and how it all went off? And they put together a pretty good squad, too. And just a sold-out crowd. It just was a really special night.
It was. It's fun to be able to do that. I know a lot of programs will have alumni matches, and just how it's worked for us in the past with a lot of our alumni playing professionally, and we didn't have a league in the U.S., and so a lot of our players that could have played were gone, already over to their foreign leagues in the past. And so now that we have these professional leagues in the United States, it keeps them home and allows us to tap into some of that talent that is still playing. And we knew it would be a great matchup because we saw, I think out of the 10 or 11 players, 7 or 8 of them are still playing professionally in some realm. So not many programs are probably having an alumni game at that level. But, we say how special Devaney is, and sometimes you don't understand that when you're in it every day, and the expectations of performing and winning are there. But when you leave it, you realize what you had. And I think it was great for our team to witness these players that have gone on and played in arenas all across the world and played at the professional level, and to come back and have all the joy and passion of playing back in front of the crowd at Devaney and in Devaney really speaks volumes to what a special, opportunity they have as a Husker. And so it was, if you talk to any of the players, they were nervous. I think the alumni, they were a little nervous. Some of them hadn't really touched a ball for several months. But I told them, you're professionals. It'll come back like that, just like tying your shoe. You'll figure it out. And But they really enjoyed it and said, let me know if you're doing this next year, and they want to be a part of it. And hopefully it allows, alumni too. It gives us an opportunity to try to bring more alumni back, whether you're playing or not, because tickets are so hard to get. So we don't have many of those opportunities during the game during the year to really recognize our alumni and try to get them back and thank them for what they've done for our program and the tradition they've set for us. And Saturday night really brought that all together.
Again, that was Lindsay Peterson on this week's episode of The Dig, powered by Emeritus. Emeritus is proud to power The Dig and all of Husker women's sports. And that was just about a third of the conversation that we had today. We dove into a lot of different things. Always enjoyed talking with Lindsay. So go check out that conversation now. It's out now on our podcast platforms, on our YouTube channel as well. So you can go check out that full conversation. All right, we got to step aside for a break. We're back to talk with Tyler Kai and some big news regarding some volleyball seating. Keep it here on Sports Nightly.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio. So we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Noddle Companies proudly supports the Huskers Radio Network. As a full-service leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Noddle Hospitality's latest venture in Aksarben Village, and the contemporary living of row house townhomes on Leavenworth. We're welcoming world-class concepts from men's fashion and great eats to gorgeous homes and green spaces, all professionally managed by Noddle Services. These are the Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
This year, we considered hiring an ad agency to help with our marketing.
They pitched impressive visuals and a script that was inspiring.
And exotic animal mascots to help grab your attention.
In the end, we just decided to tell it to you straight. Shelter Insurance has award-winning customer service at affordable rates.
Plus, our local agents are there to help you understand what coverage you need.
See Shelter agents Pete Voles or Brent Ruggo in North Platte, or in Broken Bow, see agent Brent Custer.
Jan from Toyota here, with live coverage of end of summer fun at Toyota's national sales event, with my special guest, Eli Manning.
Thanks, Jan. Let's get into it.
Down by the lake for some fishing, we've got Eric in his Tundra. He throws his line, and he's going long!
Heck of a team effort there. That Tundra got him exactly where he needed to be.
There's excitement in the stadium parking lot with the Davis family tailgating in their new Sequoia.
All eyes are on Dad manning the grill. He grabs some buns from the cargo area of the Sequoia and flips. And look at that! What a way to close this one out.
Sure was, Eli. Until next time, go Toyota!
See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Event ends September 2nd. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, or Corwin Toyota of Bellevue.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health, and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Redefine your luxury shopping experience at Genesis of Southwest Omaha.
Receive 2.99% APR for 60 months or 3.99% APR for 72 months on our 2025 Genesis GV80 3.5 Turbo Prestige models in stock. Plus, enjoy up to $5,000 loyalty or competitive owner bonus. With approved credit, tax title license extra, when financed with Genesis Finance. $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires 8/31/25. See dealer for details.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Welcome back to Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody, and joined now by our good friend Tyler Kai, the Deputy AD for Revenue Generation. You made multiple appearanries on the show. Welcome back.
Yeah, thank you. First time in the studio, though. The new studio looks great. I know you've been in here a little bit. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Really, really nice. Yeah.
It's fun. We like being with the people, you know.
Absolutely.
So we got lots of things to hit on with you. Got lots of news to catch us all up on. Some exciting things happening. But let's start. You guys have moved recently. You have your own new digs.
Yes, we do. So we've also relocated. Part of that is because we've added a lot of new staff, so we've outgrown our existing space. So we are now located on the east side of Memorial Stadium. Gate 21 is where folks can come and see us now, but really excited about the new space. We'll actually, even on that side, we'll have dedicated parking stalls for guests to be able to come and see us. So that'll make it a little more convenient for people to be able to come over and visit with us in the ticket office, or even come by and see the fundraising team. But a part of this, the biggest introduction and what really kickstarted the move is the introduction of a new sales team. So we're building out an entire ticket sales operation. We have over 28,000 ticket holders across all of our sports. And we previously didn't have a dedicated team to be able to go out and reach those folks. So this sales team is going to be working every single day to reach as many of those ticket holders as we possibly can. And I'm really excited about it because I just think there's a lot of people out there that may or may not know how to get involved or how to buy tickets or become a season ticket holder. And this team will be there to be able to answer their call and even call them directly to connect with them.
So I was going to ask, what was the importance? Why was this a need for you guys?
Yeah, I think as we see really, and it's the other topic I think we want to hit on today, the volleyball reseeding, the introduction of some new products that we're trying to get into a lot of our venues, how we're trying to grow some revenue opportunities for all of our programs. We wanted to have a team that could really identify some new people that are raising their hands saying, hey, I want to help support. I didn't know I could get season tickets previously. So I think that was a lot of it. It was just us trying to get really more, I would hesitate to say aggressive, but more outbound. Instead of asking folks to come to us, we want to meet people where they are and come to them and say, hey, did you know you don't need to just buy single game tickets on the secondary market? We actually have some that you can buy directly from us at face value. And so I think that was a lot of what we were wanting to accomplish here.
And I think for the current season ticket holders, there's questions all the time, right? So you have that team that people can reach out to at any given time that they can answer those questions.
Exactly right. Well, like I said, we got 28,000 ticket holders. And I think last year we were only able to contact maybe 2,500 to 3,000 of them. The goal that we've set out this year is to reach at least 10,000 people. And that would be a huge increase. And so we hope just through communication that we can help build better relationships with the folks that are supporting us and showing up in our venues every single week to make the environments as good as they possibly can be. And I think that this sales team will be a really nice addition. And I think will be really welcomed from a lot of the folks that previously maybe not had an opportunity to connect with somebody directly in the athletics department.
If people do want to get in contact, what's the best way with that, that group?
Absolutely. So I would tell you, give us a phone call. Our phone number is listed on the website, but you could also go to huskers.com/tickets 24 hours a day to be able to get information. But really call us 9 to 4. We'll be happy to take your calls and then 24 hours a day online.
Okay, so I think one of the last times you were here, we had talked about some volleyball reseeding. Just first of all, it's not happening this season.
That's right. It is not happening this fall.
But you do have some updates for us. Where are we at with that currently?
Yeah, so last spring we made this announcement that we'll be expanding capacity in the Devaney Center to over 10,000. And with that, we will be reseeding the entire venue. First time we've ever done this. We understand there's some consternation there, which is why we wanted to make the announcement at least 1 year in advance of doing the reseed. We've sort of gone quiet, and the reason why we've gone quiet is because we did not want to cause any confusion for anyone to think that it was happening for this weekend, right? Yeah. It is not happening this fall. So really the formalized communication will begin this October. So everyone will start seeing more information published this upcoming October with the prioritization, ticket quantities that people can expect to be able to select, timelines. We'll have a website that'll be dedicated to this for folks to be able to get information. So I wanted to come on today to start having some of these conversations just so people could anticipate what to expect in October, because that communication is going to be really, really important for us.
You guys didn't just, hey, snap your fingers, this is happening. There's a lot of work and research and efforts that have gone into how you want to execute this reseeding plan.
That's right. So since the spring, since the announcement, we've assembled a committee to really sit down and think through this. This includes our capital planning team, who's going to be leading the charge for the renovation, our ticket office staff, our fundraising team. We've even consulted our leadership in the volleyball program for what they need to make the Devaney Center the best environment for them to compete. And so we're really trying to look at this from a lot of different angles to maximize the opportunity, because we understand as we're basically uprooting everybody from where they've been sitting and reconfiguring some of the layout of the venue, there's an opportunity for us to fix some things that have been maybe some pain points or frustrations for how we want to create the best environment for our volleyball program to compete. The other thing, too, is that we are obviously talking about this as a volleyball venue, but we sometimes forget that this is where our gymnastics programs compete and our wrestling program competes. So I think through the renovation of the facility, we're also trying to keep in mind, how does this impact what our wrestling environment can look like, and what can we do there to improve that experience as well? Because obviously what Mark Manning and the wrestling program is doing is they've got a lot of upside as well. So I think that we've tried to take a hard look from a lot of different angles to do this and do this right.
That is important, because you do sometimes forget that there's some pretty good sports that compete in there when volleyball's not in season.
Exactly right. Yeah, and Troy's even mentioned too, with the addition of the special events team, I mean, are there ways for us to program the Devaney Center for more than just athletic events? Can we get some concerts in there? So that we've been very mindful of how all of that integrates into the design and how we want to do things.
Do you have an artist at the top of your list for the first concert we might look into? That's a hot topic here on this show.
You know, I would say my music taste is probably not the same music taste of a lot of folks in Nebraska, but I think there's a lot of good artists that would want to come. This is such a good environment, and our people would show up. So, yeah, it'd be good.
Kyle, new play-by-play guy, is pushing for some Coldplay.
I would be up for Coldplay. I would absolutely be up for Coldplay. That's definitely a little bit more my genre.
Well, going back to just the reseating, and it's important for folks to know, if you've been a long-time season ticket holder, you're not getting pushed out. You're going to have some options that are available for you.
Exactly. That's well said. I mean, that was priority number one for us. We knew that when the announcement came out in the spring, some of the immediate feedback that we got was, I'm a season ticket holder for the last 30 years. I was with you in the Coliseum, and now I'm not going to get an opportunity to keep seats because somebody's going to come in and steal seats from me. We, through the prioritization of how folks will select, which is going to be based off of a rank process. So your Huskers Athletic Fund ranking is really, really important. I don't want to understate that. But based off of how we're prioritizing who gets access when, every current season ticket holder will get an opportunity to select seats. It may not be the same number of seats that you have currently, and it may not be in the same location that you have, but it was really, really important to us that we allowed for everybody who's currently in the venue to be back in the venue for the reseating process. In addition to that, though, we are also wanting to weave in our Nebraska Leadership Society members and our Hall of Fame members, which is really our top two groups within the Huskers Athletic Fund that are not current season ticket holders, strategically in that process. So we also want to make sure there's a pipeline for some of our most generous supporters to still get access, while also still honoring those that have been with us for many, many years. So that is priority number one. And I will tell you, we've spent many, many weeks thinking through that and analyzing different scenarios. We've got a really strong team of our analytics team to think through every possible scenario so that I could feel comfortable coming on today to tell you all that. If you're a current season ticket holder, you're going to get an option.
That's great. Great news there. And there's not a bad seat really in Devaney.
No, it's really good. It's really, really good. And that goes back to how it was renovated originally, right? When we converted it into the volleyball venue and the venue that it is today. I think we did an exceptional job of trying to do that. And even some of the new seats that'll be added to the upper rows, I think those are still going to be exceptional for folks to be able to see.
I know people don't always want to hear it, but in the day and age, and Troy has talked about that a lot when he makes his appearances on the show, when he speaks outside of this. I mean, it's where we're at in college athletics that you have to make sure you're prioritizing, as you mentioned, some of those really generous donors.
That's right. That's exactly right. And we want to thread the needle as best as we possibly can with all of that. I think that you've even started to see some member benefits that we've introduced to our top groups. So the Nebraska Leadership Society in particular, And then the past couple weeks, we have had a football practice and a volleyball practice where we've invited our Hall of Fame members and our Nebraska Leadership Society members to come to practice and then be able to interact with the teams afterwards. And I'll tell you too, Jess, I was really impressed by this. I've never seen this in my many years working in college athletics. Coach Rule actually addressed the football team after our football practice, and our donors were standing on the end zone outside on the practice fields. And he told them, he goes, listen, these people are here for you. They've invested in you. And so you need to go and show your gratitude. And all of the team didn't just come up and say, hey, thanks, wave at us, and then continue to move on. They shook people's hands. They looked them in the eye, and they said, thank you so much for being here. It means a lot that you'd be here today to support us. And they stood around and they talked with our donors. I'll tell you in my years of working in college athletics, I've never seen a program do that. And it really speaks to the quality of kids that we have, that they're fierce competitors, but they're also really, really gracious and courteous to those that they know are helping their success and fuel their success.
What a great story. And I mean, it speaks to the culture that Coach Rule is building, right?
I totally agree.
What did the folks think when the whole team just came over to, hey, let's chit chat for a little bit?
Well, I think sometimes they see some of these defensive and offensive linemen and they quickly realize that those guys are not average sized human beings. They're pretty sizable dudes, but they were very grateful too. I think we heard from many people that were at practice for days after that saying, that was awesome. I mean, thank you so much for giving us the access first and foremost, but also thanks for allowing us to interact with some of these guys that we've been wanting to meet and wanting to cheer for. And we even had some folks that told us it's really hard to not want to cheer for guys when you get that type of an experience with them and can shake their hand and say, good luck. And we're glad that we're able to be here.
What's neat too about it is that, you know, Coach Rule's not going to waste a practice. You guys got to see a legit practice, a fall camp. They were going good on good. I mean, you saw some good stuff out there.
We really did. It was awesome. And that's a credit again to Coach Rule for him and even the practice that we had for volleyball, the level of intensity we had at that one as well. I mean, to see the teams compete, they can't take days off, right? They have to continue to compete every single day. And so it was fun to see the level of intensity, the competition, and then just even the culture that those guys had, picking each other up, cheering for each other. I mean, those are variables that I think sometimes get understated in the culture that a program is trying to be built on.
So I think, you know, for folks there's extra perks other than just seating that you can really get some cool experiences when you get involved with you and your group.
Exactly right. I think what we've tried to do over the course of the last year, just with some restructuring we've done in the Huskers Athletic Fund, the introduction of our sales team, we've grown we've added some new fundraisers as well. And this is in response to some of the revenue demands that we have to meet. Is we really want to make sure everyone understands you don't have to be a season ticket holder to be a member of the Huskers Athletic Fund. If you want to be a Sea of Red member at $100, be a Sea of Red member at $100. It really does matter when we have folks that just invest in us. And trying to place the Huskers Athletic Fund as a unit within the athletics department for passionate supporters to get involved. And then in exchange for that, we want to provide clear pathways for those folks to be able to get access to things, benefits they wouldn't otherwise be able to get. So it's really, really important that we try to communicate all those details out to folks.
Outside of tickets, so we talked about that earlier, huskers.com/tickets. But if folks want other information about that kind of stuff, where do they go? How do they get that? HuskersAthleticFund.com is probably the number one source of information I'd tell you to go to. You can get information on tickets, benefits, ways to get involved. You can make a donation online directly there. You can get contact information for any of our staff members. We have premium seating information on the website. Our areas of greatest need. I think so if you're curious of what is most important for us and what we're trying to fund, it's clearly listed on the website for folks to be able to go and explore that. And always we're willing to take calls and answer any questions people have too. You're also a good follow. You post a lot of information on your social media too.
I like to have fun with it. And honestly, the thing that I enjoy most is interactions. So I love when people ask questions to me. I try to get back to them as quickly as I can. But yeah, I think it's fun. I think I tell people all the time, if you ever hear me complain about what I get to do, remind me what I get to do. I live a really good life, and I'm really grateful that I can use a platform like Twitter or X, I guess, that I can share a little bit of those stories too.
At Tyler John, Jon Kai, Kai. If you want to follow him on X, he posts a lot of good nuggets there on his social media. Thank you so much for being here. Did we miss anything? Anything else you need to make sure and communicate with the fans and listeners?
Well, I think some stuff too that you can expect to see in October is maybe some more clarity on what that plan for the Devaney Center does look like. So Troy actually said this, I think, in his press conference a week ago or so. We're going to be centralizing the student section. That was in direct consultation with the volleyball program and what DBK wanted to be able to do to create an impactful experience there. A couple other things too that we've gotten feedback on is single game inventory. Like we sell the Devaney Center for volleyball as a season ticket. Right now, a lot of that inventory gets wrapped up in season tickets. We want to provide as clear pathways as we possibly can. We're not naive to think that it's accessible for most folks to get into the Devaney Center. Oftentimes, you have to go to the secondary market. SeatGeek to be able to buy those tickets. Sometimes they're 10 to 20x the face value of the ticket. So I think through these plans, we're planning on actually holding back some single game inventory that we can sell at face value. They won't be transferable. You won't be able to resell them. So you'll be able to buy them at a very affordable rate to be able to come in. Because one thing that I was astounded by, and I hope our other fans also recognize this for the red-white scrimmage and the alumni match, which by the way were incredible to go out and watch those compete. But the amount of kids that were in the venue was a lot. I mean, I actually was struck by it, and I talked to this with my team a little bit, the amount of posters that you saw during the alumni match of all these kids that were really excited, probably for many of them the first time they've ever been in the venue. The reason for this reseeding plan is also to recognize that we need to continue to grow our fan base, and how you grow the fan base is providing access into the venue. It was getting really hard for people to be able to get in, and we wanted to make sure that we provide pathways for people to be able to get in. So that I would say is huge, that you'll see some changes. Potentially some new premium seating options as well. We're still trying to evaluate that, of what that all looks like. But with the student section being centralized, we have courtside seats on the end lines. We don't anticipate putting courtside seats in front of our student section, so we may be reevaluating where all those courtside seats go. So maybe some new products that you're not used to seeing. So anyway, there's a lot on the table, but that's where that committee is doing a lot of really hard work to understand exactly what we need to do and make sure that we provide the best experience possible.
And again, that communication will be coming out starting in October.
Yep. That's right. Look for it in October.
One of the other cool things that came out recently that Troy announced, and not surprising, it's happened, basically every year for the last few, that the women's programs, the 4 that count tickets, were number 2 in the nation.
That's right.
So you guys also provide those season tickets for softball and for women's basketball and so there's other areas that if you want to get involved and support great women's programs, if volleyball might not be in the cards, there's lots of other great opportunities to support our women's teams.
Exactly right, and that goes back to that sales team as well. I'm a competitive person. I want to be number one, so we want to be the number one space. So I think our sales team is going to be dedicated to find more people to come out to women's gymnastics, come out to softball, soccer, volleyball, women's basketball. Let's support those programs as much as we possibly can, and let's not be number 2, let's be number 1. So I think they're going to think through really good strategies to try to get some people out to the venue that otherwise maybe didn't know about an event or weren't tracking on. So it should be good.
All right, what else? We get it all?
I think that might be it. Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity. Again, be on the lookout for that communication in October. And you'll have plenty of time to make a decision. The other thing probably too, Jess, worth a note is it starts in October, but we don't anticipate the ranking locks to happen until March of 26. So that should give people plenty of time from October to March to be able to make decisions, understand the process. After October, don't hesitate to call us. We'd be happy to answer your questions. But appreciate the opportunity to come and just update people on where we sit today.
All right, great stuff. As always, appreciate when you hop on the show with us.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Again, Tyler Kai, the Deputy AD for Revenue Generation here with Nebraska Athletics. We got to step aside for a break. More of the show coming up after this.
You're going to feel a puff of air.
Jong's Optometry has set their sights on staffing up.
Try the next line. Hey, Kim, can you tell our 2 o'clock we're running 15 behind? Sorry, we're a bit backed up today.
He needs an optometric technician to keep an eye on it all.
Where are the dilation drops?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home.
And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your basement and damaging your home. Mold, cracks, and of course visible water are just a few signs your basement is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Welcome back. Final segment here of Sports Nightly on this Wednesday night edition. We've got a big show coming up for you tomorrow night, our final show of the week, because we'll have volleyball, JB and Lauren here on your airwaves for the season opener on Friday night, so it'll be our last show, and it's a big one. Matt Roll set to join us for his first coaches show of the 2025 season. He'll be in during the 6 o'clock hours, so 6 to 7 o'clock. So get those texts, those questions ready, 402-413-2400. You can send those in now. I'll make sure and read them, go through them, and we'll have those ready to go for Coach Roll. You can also text in live tomorrow night as well. We also, big segment tomorrow, and I guess we got Joke of the Week. So I don't want to bury that, Camden. So we'll have Joke of the Week. Still in discussions on what to do with that thing moving forward. So apparently we're split on that, on what to do. But we will have a Joke of the Week. The big dog, it was a great idea, Camden, but he did not want to do it. Apparently not a dad joke guy, so we'll have to figure out who's going to step in. Maybe David can make his return. You haven't done it.
I feel like I did it a long time ago. It's been a little while, though.
All right. Well, we'll have to figure out who's going to do it, but we will have a quick segment of Joke of the Week. But we will also have our pick segment. Makes its return tomorrow night. We've got a small schedule of games, but hey, we got to get it rolling because also a big matchup with Iowa State, Kansas State. But hey, college football is here, which means we have to bring our pick segment back. And you fired up. You were part of the winning team of the students last year. You're going to maybe make some picks on your own this year?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like I had a lot of success when I would pick for the students. So I guess we'll see what the new batch of students can do without me, I guess, going 8-2 or 7-3 every week.
Well, Henry was the one that kept you guys from running away from that thing.
He did a little bit. Yeah, there were some questionable picks at times, but hey, we fought through the adversity and still held on late.
So breaking news a little bit. I think we talked about it, but the students ended up finishing first. I finished second. So we'll get into that. The big dog is back. Kyle going to be picking for the first time, so we got to break him in. So we're going to have some fun with that. So college football picks, Matt Roll show. It's a big show coming up for you tomorrow night here on Sports Nightly. We're looking forward to it. Should be a fun night. All right, that's going to do it for us here on this Wednesday night edition of Sports Nightly. Thanks to Kyle, Tyler, Kai, Lindsay Peterson, Russ, Camden, everyone that was a part of this one tonight. And thank you to you for listening and watching on our YouTube stream. We'll be back again tomorrow night for a full 2 hours of Sports Nightly right here on the Huskers Radio Network. Have a great night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Did you get us switched over to shelter insurance?
Actually, I found a deal online.
You did? Does your deal come with award-winning customer service?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Does the deal include a local agent?
Doesn't actually say.
Can we create a customized plan that fits our needs? Let's just call the local shelter agent.
For insurance that fits just right, find a shelter agent near you.
See shelter agent Rhonda Miller in Alliance, Stephanie Culver in Holdridge, or Jonna Austin in Fairbury.
It's the summer sales event with the Ford Crew.
Sam?
30 seconds on the clock. The Ford Summer Sales Event.
Great time to buy.
Correct. What do we have amazing deals on this summer?
Ford trucks and SUVs.
Is Ford America's all-time best-selling auto brand?
Let me think. Yeah, it is.
3 for 3.
What do I win?
You get to work at the Ford Summer Sales Event.
Amazing. I think I was going to do that anyway.
You betcha.
Based on Automotive News Almanac historical data and industry-reported sales data from 1909 through 2024 CY.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect that water is the reason parts of your concrete have gotten so uneven. Walkway tripping hazards, sinking pool deck, cracked driveways are dangerous threats to everyone's safety. But there's one way to learn how your concrete can be lifted. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Your next vehicle is waiting for you at Woodhouse Buick GMC. Right now, you can save up to $10,000 off MSRP on the 2025 GMC Sierra 1500 Elevation Crew Cab 4x4. Explore our current offers in-store or online today. Woodhouse Buick GMC. We are professional grade. With approved credit, must own and trade in a 2011 or newer passenger car or truck. Tax, title, license extra, $299 Doc 2 at signing. Offer applies to select stock numbers. Stock number V2507.